When we talk about prepared speeches, okay, I faced a lot of questions at the start of what kind of, I mean, a lot of questions about different ways of preparing the speech. So some questions like what topic to use, so what topics we should choose. One of the questions, many times people ask me what kind of topics I should choose. Because all being part of a corporate club, you're always focused on some slides and some technical topics. But Toastmasters actually gives us a very good platform to talk about something which is related to life, not only to technical. Another question which I had was what to talk for 7 long minutes. I can't even talk for 2 minutes. Then what to talk for 7 minutes? One question I had was, shall I be funny or shall I be serious? Why so serious? Why so funny? And if I'm being funny, whether people will laugh at my jokes. How long shall I maintain eye contact? Whether shall I stare? Shall I only look at this side? Shall I only look at that side? Etc. etc. So I had lots of questions, and I was a little bit, you can say, baffled by or dazzled by what exactly I should do when 3 years back. But then slowly, while talking with others, I got to know a lot of different things. And today's session is more about what we are going to learn out of that, or how we can learn some tricks about preparing speeches. I always believe that before we jump to the what part, or the transactional part, we should always focus first on why. Why we are doing something. To take the same topic of Toastmaster Shilpi, which she is presenting today, of behavior gap. Now, when we take about, say, financial planning, one of the major impulse for us is whether I should invest in mutual funds or in a fixed deposit or whatever. So that's more on the transactional side. You'll find lots and lots of books, lots and lots of advices on TV, on net, and etc. That this mutual fund is better than that mutual fund. But the fundamental question is why, first of all, you want to go for a mutual fund or some other financial instrument. So that why is very important. Why? Because probably I have to buy a house. I want to buy that fancy car. I want to do something else. Maybe I want to save money for my marriage, etc. etc. So the same thing is also applicable when we are thinking about prepared speeches. Right? Why do we want to give a speech? What is that special thing which is really motivating me to give a speech? And luckily, fortunately, Toastmasters helps us in this. So there is something called as evaluation form or evaluation resource. I'm sure everyone knows about it. So whenever we decide to give a speech, our VP always asks all of us to send that evaluation form. Filled. Okay, at least put your name and who is your evaluator, etc. The evaluation form also talks about the project purpose. So there will be a unique evaluation form or evaluation resource for every purpose, every project. And every project will also have a unique purpose. For example, level 1 project or level 2, sorry, level 1 project 2 is having a project purpose of writing a speech with purpose. So we should learn from this project. When you go to the Toastmasters International website, Pathways, we have to learn basically what kind of speech I should write, what kind of purpose I should have. So similarly, for every project, there will be a unique purpose. So when we start thinking about prepared speeches, for regardless of level, the first job we should do is to go to the TI website, Pathways, and find out what is the purpose of this project. That purpose will completely, or the purpose should really define the way you want to approach the speech. You should not just give speech for, just because I have to give a speech. That's not a great way to do it. Instead, try to link that project purpose, the purpose of your speech. That's why the why is very important. How to do, what to do, we'll anyways talk. But if in your own mind, the why is not clear, if you're just giving a speech because someone has told you that I have to give a speech, that is not the right way to do it. The best way to do it is use a purpose, project purpose, and then link your speech with that. If the project purpose is, say, body language, then you should have some element of body language, showing body language as part of your speech. Clear? Now, before we really start delivering the speech or preparing the speech, the first topic is what is important is who's going to be my audience. Now, in Toastmasters, generally we know who are the audience. Okay, but this question is actually beyond Toastmasters. Even when we are going to present something as part of our own say official duties, we should always know whether I am going to present to a customer, to my internal stakeholder, to a CEO or a BU head, department head, whatever, or somebody who is two levels down my line. That will give you more idea about what exactly the message you want to craft. So knowing your audience is number one step in any speech or any presentation. Whenever I am saying speech, it is more about presentation. Second question we should ask ourselves is, what should be the central theme of my topic? What I want people to really know. What is the core message, the key takeaway of my speech or my presentation? If that these things are clear, if we are working right from start on all these topics, that writing a speech becomes much easier. Creating a speech becomes easier. Next question we can ask ourselves is, in what ways I can make the topic more engaging? Even if it is a very dull topic, very boring topic, maybe a very technical topic, but then what I can do so that all those people are really looking at me and not looking at some, or they are not checking their WhatsApp. So all these questions, if you are approaching the speech writing or preparing speech with this kind of, you can say, mindset, lots of things will start becoming very clear. Instead of just taking some topic or writing, giving a prompt to chat GPT that I want to give a speech, that is not going to work. Okay. By the way, I highly discourage all of you to write a speech using chat GPT right from scratch. Probably you write some speech and then you get it refined. That is still okay. But don't kill your creativity by just simply feeding data to chat GPT or any other generative AI device. So these questions are very important when you are thinking about writing a speech or giving a speech. Now, this is before. Now, what you should do while preparing for the speech? First is the number one question: what topic I should choose? What is the appropriate topic? So there is no Toastmasters International will not stop you from not taking any topic. Only thing is there are three things, right? Sex, politics, and religion. We should not talk on that explicitly. We can crack a joke here and there, but that should not, you know, it should not be a sensitive topic for someone else. So apart from this restriction, there is absolutely no stopping on taking any topic. In fact, I highly encourage all of you to take some very creative topics. I think last meeting somebody had taken, I think Ganesh only had taken this railways topic. Deepak, sorry, yeah. Deepak had taken this railways topic, which is a very innovative topic. Right? So when we are more innovative, when we are taking a speech, it always helps us also to grow, as well as some other people also will get a lot of information from. So the important here is where you are comfortable with, not someone else is comfortable with. So it is absolutely, it doesn't matter. Take a personal story, take some national topic, something but which can be interesting. The whole idea is we should entertain others, we should engage others with our topic. We should try to give some added value from our speeches or our presentations. Next is, again, as I said, link the speech objective or link that topic with your speech objective. It should not be completely different than what you want to achieve. That's why always first step is go to TMI website and download that evaluation resource and read what is the purpose of the project. Next is very important, write down your speech. Don't keep it in your head. It doesn't work many times. The moment you start putting ink on the paper or in digital ways, you start structuring your thoughts. The more structured your thoughts, it is easier to deliver. If you put everything in your mind, it is very difficult. It is not everybody's cup of tea that they will remember each and everything. So it is always better to write it down, take a printout, maybe you make some corrections, whatever you want to do. But having a written speech will always help you a lot. Next is, I'm sure everyone has mentor here. If someone doesn't have mentor, please reach out to Toastmaster Prem. He will help you with new mentor. So always, at least in the initial days, at least your level till your level 1 is completed, try to interact more with your mentor. Try to get their suggestions on what kind of what kind of improvements can be done in this speech. Again, there is no spoon feeding here. Mentor will only give you guidance. They will not write speech for you. That is not expected. You should start writing your own speeches as early as possible, right from your first speech. Next is structure. Structure is very important. Structure should always be logical. If you want to put emotions, that's a different topic. But at least you should have a proper beginning, a middle, where you expand your ideas, and then proper end to the speech. Come to the core idea as quickly as possible. I'm sure everyone knows one of the greatest of directors, Christopher Nolan. He has directed one of the best films in today's world. And his overall style is a non-linear narrative. But that works in movies. That doesn't work in Toastmasters. Our job as a speaker is not to confuse the audience. It is to give them a very concise idea in 5 to 7 minutes. If we keep on juggling here and there and we keep on jumping from this place to that place, it will be very difficult for the people to understand and they will simply lose the interest. They will again pull out their phone and start looking at WhatsApp. So always remember that you should come to your core idea very quickly and then keep on spreading that message, keep on repeating that message throughout very subtly. Use the same message but in different languages. That will also work a lot. Next is our preachy language. It is very easy to get carried away when we are talking and others are listening that we should be preachy. It is like the way we talk to our children sometimes. Right? They also lose interest after some time if you start preaching too much. So try to keep it light. Use humor and emotions very wisely. The more humor you are having, it is very interesting speech. People love. It is very difficult to make someone laugh, but if you are able to make someone laugh, it is easier to get engaged. It is easier to get connected. So try humor. Emotions also work beautifully, but use those emotions wisely, properly. While you are telling something funny and your face is somber, that doesn't work. Very important is try to tell some story. If you keep on telling a lot of bland facts, people will soon start sleeping. They will simply ignore you. They will simply disengage with you. So try to use some storytelling. Okay. When I say storytelling, it did not be there is a Raja tha, ek Rani thi, right? Hero, heroine. It can be any fact which you can link with your core message. That's storytelling. Include short and insightful quotes. Again, people will remember quotes. People will remember some very intelligent questions rather than just bland facts. Okay, so try to ask some very good questions and also give some quotes. Be mindful of allotted time. Again, when we are talking, it is very easy to get carried away. And 5 to 7 minutes is very fast time. It will just go like this. So good idea is around 500 to 500 words, which you can comfortably talk. It is not like mutual funds are subject to market risk. Right? We are not supposed to talk like this. We are supposed to give proper weightage, proper emotions, humor, etc. So 500 to 550 words is a good judgment. We should also fix some time for taking a pause, right? It is not like a railway announcement कि ये गाड़ी इधर आएगी वो गाड़ी. That is not the purpose. The purpose is take some meaningful pauses, educate the other person, try to wait for their reactions. If you are cracking a joke, give them time to at least 5-6 seconds to laugh. Don't rush to your next joke. So for that, I think I have found that 500 to 550 words normally are good enough for a 5 to 7 minute speeches. Always remember that in Toastmasters pathway journey, 99% of time you will always be required to give a 5 to 7 minute speech. Very rarely you have to go for longer time. Or only for icebreaker it is only 4 to 6 minutes. Otherwise, almost all speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. So 500 to 550 words normally that mathematics looks good. Let's talk about storytelling a bit. Now we all know movies are full of lot of stories, isn't it? How they use this structure is very interesting. They will have a setup, confrontation, and resolution. So there will be Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Okay, so they will introduce the topic at start, or they will introduce the story at start. Then that story will slightly going ramping up, and then it will go on to peak. Then there will be some crisis, and then again there will be resolution. Let's understand this with an example. Everyone knows this movie. Which one? DDLJ. There is Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol. What they do? They go to Europe. They have a lot of money. Anyways, they are in Europe, so that's not a problem. But they go for a Europe trip. And then at the height of the movie, at the interval, they are completely madly in love with each other. Isn't it? And a lot of beautiful songs, etc. But then comes our Bauji. And then Bauji, what he does, magically he vanishes his entire family within one night. I don't know how he does it, but somehow he does it. And then they completely relocate to India with all their luggage. I know, amazing. Only Bollywood can do something like this. And then our guy also then rushes to India. He tries to mend ways with Bauji. And finally, what happens is they meet. Right? The Bauji allows him to take his girl away. Ja Simran Ja, right? So now you can see that in just a single slide, I am able to talk about entire movie. And this is exactly what you have to do. Use some concept and try to link that with some story.
Without logic.
Without without logic. Yeah, with or without logic. It is up to you. Important is it should be interesting. Why people still know DDLJ is because it is very interesting movie, isn't it? Feel good. Correct. It is a feel good movie. So your speeches should also be entertaining, engaging enough. So other people will enjoy. See why we are not here, because we don't have time to kill, right? We are here to enjoy things also, apart from learning. So we should also, as a speaker, it is our responsibility to give some entertainment to others. Use some engaging quotations, use some engaging stories to tell. Now let's come to the core part of speech. So we talked about what we should do before speech, what we should do during preparation of the speech. And now let's talk about delivery of the speech. So first is, before you are giving a speech, try to practice it in front of mirror, in front of some colleagues, maybe family members, etc. That also helps, always helps. Or maybe you just put a camera and then record yourself. You are able to see this. Second is, rehearse your speech around the bullet points and don't try to mug up the speech. Many times if you forget just one sentence, that entire thing will fall down. So try to use bullet points, or we call that Lego theory. What is a Lego block? Lego blocks are like those blocks using which you can create a toy or something like this. So think about those Lego blocks as your bullet points. And those bullet points will actually help you remember the context. And that's why storytelling helps, because story is easier to remember also. And story is easier to tell also. Isn't it? Practice with your props well in advance. So what is a prop? For example, I want to use this mobile to do something during the speech, or I'm using PowerPoint right now. Now, if I am clicking this at the wrong time, I'm sending actually a wrong message, isn't it? So these are the props. Let's say if I'm using this chair, I should not fall down while giving a speech. Recently, I used guitar in one of my area contest. So what I did was, I had that question in my mind, where to put the guitar, because I was not supposed to carry it for a long time. So I actually got a stand in my class and put the guitar on top of it. So that's a prop. So during our club speeches also, we can all use different props. There is no stopping. And the more you use the props creatively, people will like that more. Use the entire stage to your advantage. Now the stage normally is from, say, probably this side to this side. Try to use that stage while telling different parts of your story. Kajol and Shahrukh Khan are here in Europe, then they go to India, right? Maybe I was a small child and then I grew up, 20 years left, etc. etc. So this is how you are able to use the stage for different timelines, different situations, etc. Use that. Have an effective eye contact with the audience. This is very important. Now, eye contact is a very tricky thing. If I keep on looking at him for a long time, you will feel very uncomfortable. And this doesn't work well with girls, by the way. Okay. So what you should do is, you should have a random eye contact. Again, we should not have an eye contact like lighthouse. You start from here and you end here. That is not the point. Maybe I will look at him. Maybe I will look at her. Maybe I will look at him again. So like that, it should be varying. That will really help you a lot. Use voice appropriately. Many times, if we are not mindful of the room, now this room is quite good, but when you go outside, the rooms are sometimes not that good. So try to also have your voice adjust to, so that all the people should be able to listen to what you're saying. Again, use different energies. You can have energy from A.K. Hangal of Sholay to Ranveer Singh of the Dhurandhar, right? So you can have any energy which you want, but it should be again appropriate. It should not look out of place. Focus on the right postures and gestures. Non-verbal communication itself is a big topic. Again, I'm not going to talk about that much, because you will anyways learn that as part of your pathways. Okay? But when we do a communication, face-to-face communication, the most important is always your non-verbal communication, the gestures, postures, eye contact, etc. Then your tone of the voice, and then the words, not the reverse way. If you are having a very arrogant tone, if I start talking about, these guys don't know anything, I'm the best presenter in the world, you will not like it. You'll simply get disengaged. So the tone is very, very, very important. Good. Now, after you have delivered the speech, the story doesn't end. You also have some work to do after your speech is done. First important thing is get the evaluation resource filled from the evaluator. Very important. Because that will serve you as the next, the platform for your next speech. Whatever improvements they have talked about, what are good things they have talked about, you should always try to capitalize on that. So getting that evaluation resource filled from the evaluator is only and only the speaker's responsibility, no one else. Next is watch the recording of your speech, both with and without audio. Now, with audio makes sense, but we should also start watching without audio. So you will understand that when there is no audio, you will immediately start looking at your hand gestures, postures, etc. And then you will see that you are always doing something like this. Okay? Or you are always putting your hands like this, right? These things you may not remember or recollect while you are watching with audio. So try to do both, audio and without audio. Reflect on your own performance. Just sit down for 5 minutes and see what you have really done well, what could have improved, what punch you missed in the speech, and where people started laughing. All those things are very important as an effective speaker. Discuss with your mentor. I cannot stress the importance of mentor much. Engage with him or her as much as possible. No one will say no to, they don't have time. Obviously, take their time. Don't just barge them like that. But important is, it is our responsibility again as a speaker to get that feedback from mentor. When I was preparing for my area contest, I actually reached out to 3-4 different people. I shared my videos with them. I asked for their recommendations. And I tried to incorporate few things from them. And then implement those learnings in your next speech. I always recommend giving one speech every 3 meetings. That's a decent enough. We are around 24-25 people. I think we can easily give one speech in every 3 meetings. That will actually maintain that tempo. Otherwise, if you give one speech today and then next speech after 6 months, then you will lose that completely connect between the learnings and what you learned earlier and what you're going to do tomorrow. So with that, let me stop here and take questions. As we discussed earlier, everything will start with why, then link with your purpose, conceptualize, do a proper practice, deliver with lot of energy, appropriate energy. Enjoy, very important. If you don't enjoy yourself as a speaker, then what is the point? Learn to enjoy the speech. Improve